Hey, welcome back on this Mayor Monday. City leaders are promising positive change in the city of Portland after a rough year.
Yeah, from homeless camp cleanups to the reopening of more local businesses, Portlanders are excited to see the city come back to life. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler joining us live right now to talk about the important work that needs to be done in the days ahead. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again. Okay, so in the news lately has been the city budget that you all recently passed. One of the things that got a lot of people's attention was that $3 million cut to the police bureau. We've seen this, kind of historic rise in shootings and crime in the city. How is all that going to work?
Well, first of all, let's clarify something. That was a $3 million reduction. It could have been much worse given the budget outlook. We were able to use some federal funds to help support the police bureau. What I want the public to know is that $3 million reduction comes out of a budget that's about $300 million in total. There will be no reduction in police officers on the street. And in fact, there'll be more of a presence through a tripling of our public safety support officer program. So in terms of the presence on the street of police, the public will see at least the same number of police officers and probably more going forward. In addition to that, the budget also supports efforts to reopen business. The priorities for this budget were safety, number one, homelessness, number two, and number three, economic recovery. And so those were the priorities that were funded, and they were based on what we're hearing from the community in terms of needs in those areas.
Well, I think it's interesting. One of the things that was a big conversation prior to a lot of the racial justice protests we saw last year was that Portland police was having a hard time finding enough officers and hiring to fill a staffing shortage. Is that still an issue within the department, and is that having any kind of role with some of the public safety issues we're seeing now?
That is, in fact, an issue here in Portland, as it is with every major city police bureau in the United States. This is a very, very difficult time to recruit new police officers, but we're still out there. We're still recruiting. We're working with the state to try and expedite the training. Once you hire somebody, it takes about 18 months to get them on board. And right now there's a shortage of slots down at the state level to train those officers. So we're trying to develop a program where maybe we can train them right here locally in Portland to speed that process up.
Okay, you mentioned the homeless camp cleanup efforts and how you're increasing those. How is that going to work? Because I know in the past, when I've personally seen some of the tents cleared off the sidewalks and then they start to reappear again. Where do these people go?
Yeah, and that's been the problem. I mean, frankly, with the number of people on the streets here, what we've seen is we go through a significant effort to remediate a camp that's problematic, and people move 2 blocks down the street and we start all over again. So the key here is really to find alternatives to the street, and that could be shelters, that could be other kinds of managed camps that have access to hygiene, toilets, sinks, laundry, perhaps navigation services to housing and other needs that people who are living on the street have. And this budget was supported unanimously by my colleagues for the purpose of actually expanding those opportunities to quickly and humanely get people off the streets and help them stay off the streets.
When we look down the pipeline here, there are many Portlanders probably still behind on rent, who haven't been able to work for much of 2020. As we start to emerge from some of the pandemic lockdowns and evictions become something back on the table in communities, is that something that Portland is working to try and get ahead of right now to keep more people from finding themselves homeless?
Yeah, this is a high priority for both the city and Multnomah County. We're obviously getting significant resources from the federal government through the American Rescue Plan. And we're using the lion's share of that to help keep people housed. If we can support people who are really on the edge, who are on the verge of becoming homeless, if we can prevent them from becoming homeless in the first place, that is a good investment. And so we're committed to prioritizing that.
Okay, so this Friday, it is very possible that Multnomah County could move to the lower risk category. How are the efforts going for reopening Portland and business recovery in general?
They're going terrifically well. And if anybody was in downtown Portland this weekend, you know that it was hopping. People are already coming downtown. They're already revisiting restaurants. They're going to bars. They're going to local shops. And there's really three ways that we've been trying to help as governmental partners. The first is helping the city to be cleaner and more presentable. We've worked with businesses to expedite the permitting process. We heard from businesses that there were needs they have in the near term to reopen, and they couldn't afford to wait weeks and weeks to go through the permitting process. So we sped that up. And we're also partnering with local businesses. If people don't want to come downtown, we've got the Shop Small PDX website that we're developing with merchants downtown, and that's been successful. One other thing people can do to get ready is if you haven't had the time yet to make your vaccination appointment, do so. That'll certainly help speed things up for everybody.
Could win $1 million now too with the Oregon
bad.
lottery stuff. You never know; it could pay off. Yeah,
a little bonus there, a free donut, and you could win $1 million. Yes.
I'll take either, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so
But
much.
the odds are better with the donut.
Probably so. Yeah, I think that's a given. You just go to Krispy Kreme. All right. Well, thank you, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, for taking time to join us this morning.
Good to see you.